what if winning a lawsuit was only the beginning of the fight? That is exactly where Blake Lively finds herself right now, because a case that was already dismissed has suddenly turned into a new battle over whether she should have to sit down for another deposition. Jed Wallace, the crisis communications specialist who became entangled in "It Ends With Us" legal war, is asking a Texas judge to force Lively to answer questions before the court decides whether she should receive hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees. And the reason Wallace wants another deposition could have major consequences for what happens next. Wallace and his company, Street Relations, became part of the sprawling legal fallout surrounding Lively, Justin Baldoni, and "It Ends With Us." Wallace sued Lively for defamation in Texas after she identified him in connection with allegations surrounding an alleged public relations campaign against her. But the Texas case was dismissed on jurisdictional grounds, meaning the court did not decide whether Wallace's underlying defamation allegations were true or false. Wallace later appealed that dismissal, arguing that Lively had enough connections to Texas for the court to exercise jurisdiction. Now the focus has shifted to money. Lively is seeking roughly $800,000 in legal fees, along with additional costs and damages, and Wallace is arguing that if she wants the court to make him pay, he should be allowed to question her about the circumstances surrounding her statements about him and Street Relations. His argument centers in part on whether there was evidence of malice behind those statements, an issue he says could matter to the fee dispute. And this is where the legal strategy gets interesting. Wallace is not simply asking to reopen his dismissed defamation case and start all over again. His latest request is aimed at the narrower question of Lively's fee application. He wants the judge to allow questioning about what Lively knew, what she believed, and why she made the statements at issue. His lawyers also contend that Lively did not appear for a scheduled deposition, although Lively's attorneys strongly dispute that characterization. Lively's side sees the situation very differently. Her attorneys have argued that Wallace already had an opportunity to question her, that his case was dismissed, and that the latest move is essentially an attempt to create another round of litigation while a potential fee award is hanging in the balance. In other words, from Lively's perspective, this isn't about discovering some missing piece of the original case. It is about stopping Wallace from turning a dismissed lawsuit into another expensive legal battle. But there is an important detail many people could miss. Lively has already been deposed in the much larger litigation involving Baldoni and the "It Ends With Us" dispute. A lengthy deposition transcript from 2025 became part of a separate legal fight over whether portions of her testimony should be made public. So Wallace's request would represent another round of questioning, this time focused specifically on the Texas fee dispute. And the timing matters because Lively is dealing with another enormous legal fee fight at the same time. In New York, she requested more than $8 million in attorney's fees and litigation costs after Baldoni's $400 million defamation lawsuit against her and Ryan Reynolds was dismissed. Her filing sought about $7.5 million in attorney fees and another $539,000 in expenses. Baldoni and Wayfarer have since challenged that request, arguing that the amount is excessive and should be denied or substantially reduced. So while these cases are separate, they create a remarkable bigger picture. Lively is simultaneously trying to recover substantial legal costs from litigation connected to the "It Ends Us" saga, while Wallace is fighting over whether he should have another opportunity to question her before his own fee dispute is resolved. And that means the courtroom battle isn't really disappearing. It's changing shape. For Wallace, the central question is whether Lively's request for money opens the door to deeper examination of her conduct and statements. For Lively, the central question is whether a case that was dismissed for lack of jurisdiction should now generate another round of costly discovery. And for the judge, the challenge is deciding exactly how much examination is legally appropriate without turning a fee dispute into a completely new lawsuit. For now, there is no final ruling requiring Lively to sit for another deposition, and there is no final decision awarding her the roughly $800,000 she is seeking from Wallace. The court still has to decide whether Wallace gets the additional questioning he wants and, ultimately, what happens with Lively's fee request. And that may be the most important part of this entire story. The headlines may make it sound like Blake Lively and Jed Wallace are simply fighting over a deposition, but underneath that request is a much bigger question. When a lawsuit ends without a ruling on the underlying allegations, how far can either side go when money is still on the table? That answer could determine the next chapter of a legal saga that has already stretched far beyond the movie that started it all. If you found this update helpful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Unix Media, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest news. Thanks for watching.